Hey you. Yeah, you. So, hope you're having a solid and great day so far. Appreciate you clicking on the video, and today we are going to touch on some of the main feedback items that have come out from the initial impressions that the COD community has around MW2 from the COD Next event and from the PlayStation beta that wrapped up yesterday on the 19th, as well as we have a blog post from Infinity Ward with their responses to these key feedback items and what changes we can expect going into weekend 2 and for the game's launch. If you want to stay up to date with COD news, including Modern Warfare 2, Warzone 2, Warzone Modal, and beyond, be sure to hit that like button, sub to the channel, because I will keep you as current as I possibly can. But let's go ahead and dive into this blog post. Now, moving into the main feedback items that people have been discussing all over social media regarding Modern Warfare 2, reading this was entertaining because it was funny the creative ways that Call of Duty said no, and you'll see what I mean right now. So the blog post starts out with Infinity Ward thanking those that have hopped onto the beta for weekend 1 on PlayStation and giving us the typical spiel of we're listening to the community and we're taking all this feedback into consideration. Then we also start moving into some of the fixes and updates for weekend 2. So we go ahead and start out here with fixed various crashes. This happened here and there for me, not super consistent, but it was apparent and annoying. Addressed a few gameplay exploits. There were plenty of videos on YouTube and TikTok of out-of-map places, mostly Mercado, I think. Patched some map and lighting issues and updated progression for some gunsmith-related bugs. There were some weird workarounds for locked weapons that you had to add a specific weapon in the primary slot, then equipped overkill in order to get those weapons to unlock. But hopefully that will all be corrected and we'll be all set for weekend 2. Here's the first time that COD just says no. First off, we go into the Minimap Dot Rules. So currently in the Modern Warfare 2 beta, you will only show on the minimap when a UAV is active. Firing an unsuppressed weapon doesn't show a red dot similar to some of the more recent Call of Duties. Traditionally, you needed a suppressor to stay off the minimap, but it doesn't look like we're going to be having that with this COD. They say they're doing this as a way so that they don't punish players for firing their weapons and have people have to go out and search for the origin of that gunshot versus just looking at the minimap and charging at that dot. I can see both sides of this. It frees up an attachment slot when building out loadouts because you don't need to go back and forth deciding on a suppressor to try to stay off the radar, but do think it kind of makes suppressors useless since they typically hurt range, but their benefit was to stay off the minimap. This kind of takes that away from suppressors, so why would you even utilize one at that point? Going to target tracking, they go on by saying that they have seen the feedback that it is hard to track targets once you get into a firefight. They agree that this is an issue and that they have changes incoming to address the smoke opacity and to adjust the visibility of the muzzle flash to help engage someone who is already firing at you. These changes should help with tracking your opponents in combat. This was apparent more in the mid to long range, or people that were in windows or in head glitches just because they are already a small target. So having to deal with these sort of issues just made it more of an uphill battle. They continue on by saying that they're investigating ways to visually differentiate enemies from friendlies other than just the standard nameplate above their head. They're going to try some stuff in weekend 2 and that there's more to come on this later this week. Excited to hear this just because we've all experienced that, God damn it, I thought they were on my team moment. But guess we'll just have to wait to see what they come up with. If you watched any streams of people playing in the beta this past weekend, you will see that the user interface is a complex mess from selecting game modes to the gunsmith. They just made it super confusing, so it's great to hear that they will take the feedback to hopefully make some changes for the full game, but they do say that they won't be able to make any adjustments for weekend 2, unfortunately. Here's where COD says no for a second time. The new perk system is definitely interesting. A quick recap, you come into a match with 2 base perks, and then you can earn a bonus as well as an ultimate perk throughout the match. The bonus perk comes at around the 4-minute mark and the ultimate around the 8-minute mark, but earning score from kills, assists, and playing the objective would bring down those time limits. They continue on by addressing that the COD community is pretty split on this system versus the usual 3 perk system that we have, but they're going to stick to it since it's a nice shakeup to how perks work. Some of the changes coming with week 2 are balancing updates for that ultimate perk as well as accelerating the earn rate for these perks. I do like that Ghost is an ultimate perk, so UAVs early on are very helpful, but they do slowly start to lose value as people start unlocking these perks for themselves. And Infinity Ward says no to the COD community for the third time. There's a group of people that want Dead Silence as a perk, some want it as a field upgrade as it is. For the perk side, it would give an incentive to run around more since you won't be penalized for your footsteps, but then it will be an OP and must use perk for people that are rushing. In the beta, when I used it as a field upgrade, it was recharging fairly quickly, so don't see too much of an issue with it in its current state, so I'm okay with this no response from COD. Moving on to footsteps. Footstep audio was very telling of where people were, so it was much easier to hold angles and know where people were coming from in weekend 1. For weekend 2, there are some changes coming, like reducing the footstep noise for different movement types, so whether you're walking, jogging, sprinting, tag sprinting. COD will also be differentiating the sound of friendlies and enemy footsteps, which is for sure a W. Going over to slides, they have seen that people are upset around slide canceling, and they know of some of the workarounds that some of your favorite content creators are sharing and are working on ways to combat that. But they do also mention that they are working on ways to make sliding more fluid and snappy. Removing slide canceling is not a deal breaker. I feel like this is something that people are upset about because Warzone has been our longest COD experience, and it's somewhat ingrained in the players to do slide canceling, but every COD has new movement mechanics, so I could go either way on this, to be honest, but I won't be upset if it's not around at all. The early access beta will go live for all platforms come 10 a.m. Pacific this Thursday the 22nd. This will be for all PlayStation users and also Xbox and PC who have a beta code by pre-ordering or got one through some other means like watching the World Series of Warzone, or if you're an Xfinity customer. Come Saturday the 24th through Monday 10 a.m. Pacific, beta will be open for everyone. No purchase, no code necessary. I'll be live streaming this tomorrow and throughout the weekend, so if you want to get some games in or just want to come by and chat COD, come check me out. Again, appreciate y'all taking some time out of your day to hear me ramble. And above all, stay safe out there and we'll chat soon. Thanks, y'all.